Okay, welcome back, folks. And where I'd like to pick up, Scott, is with where people can go to actually number one, how could people start using this in their own business, in their own content creation businesses, and if you can explain how that happens.
How they can use it in their business, and I kind of want to get the repurposing also and tell us how I do that. Number one, we got the freemium model. Give your best quality product, move them into a freebie of some type. Don't drop them into the membership site. And remember, I had a client the other day, I asked her, she was having trouble with the freebie, the magnet, the thing we give away, and I said, what's the problem? And she goes, it's a nuisance. I said, it's not a nuisance, it's a sales tool where you let people get to know you and you move them into becoming a customer. Then we move them into a free trial, give them a chance to try it, get to love us, really enjoy who we are, then they stick. So how can you use it? Don't jump them from the podcast to a membership. Jump them from a podcast to something designed to nurture them into loving you, and then you can convert them into a customer. That's the number one thing I do. Number two, we want to repurpose the content. Now, how do we do that? Well, where we talk a membership site, I'm going from product to subscription level. I'm going from one-off to forever. And I have a 98% retention. My guys stay with me about a year at minimum.
Wow.
All right, so it's pretty cool. So here's how I did that. I decided I had to create a product that I could transform somebody's life with. So I created three of them. One called Start Moving, Stay Moving, one called Face Your Passion, and one called Wisdom to Wealthy. Fitness, life, and business. And that's what I talk about. So if you have a fitness person coming in the door for my fitness podcast, they're going to want Start Moving, Stay Moving. It costs $97, or they can come in on my free trial, try Module 1 for free. When they convert to paid and give me $19.95, they get Module 2, and then Module 3, and then Module 4, which each payment they make. And those programs were built, basically all I did was go back a year in advance to my podcast, pull the podcast topics that I had, move them around in order, re-recorded them into a program. The prep was done in an hour. I repurposed the content. Now, one other thing, I actually monetized it, because when I made the Start Moving, Stay Moving program, I sold that product in a launch. I put it up and just sold it to the general public, actually 2 times. When I finally exhausted that market, I put it inside the membership site as a retention tool. And as soon as I did that, that's when I went to 98%. That was it. It just stuck. And I've done it consistently with 3 products now.
So, I mean, that's a huge, and that's huge. A stick rate of 98% is,
Yeah. I don't have to work very hard to keep it. I don't.
Okay, so can you give us some tips on how these folks could actually employ this technique?
Well, understand, if you want to go membership site stuff, you cannot sell the membership site. You've got to sell the instant result coming in the door. So if you've been making podcasts for a year or writing a blog post for a year, something like that, take all that stuff, pull the content out exactly, rename it, call it something else, go sell it, but then quickly drop it in the membership site and find a way to drip it. Find a way to drip it out, because people can't take it all, they won't use it all in advance anyway. They can only use a little bit. And so as you drip it out, so that's what I would do. I'd take what I've done, turn it into another product, and whether I could sell it outright or not. Listen, what makes me different, really makes me different, is I give away $2,000 to $2,200 worth of product for free inside the membership site. These are my low-end lead guys. They're never going to give me that money anyway. So I just give it to them, but I drip it out, and I make the money long term. So that's what I would do with it. So repurpose what you've done, give it a new name, and then just drip it into your site. Now you have instant content you've already produced.
And can you tell folks what you mean by drip it out?
Okay, drip it out is you set up a system in your website. We have Infusionsoft, and there are plenty of membership sites. Drip means it's a drip feed. They get a certain amount at a certain time. Basic concept is this: when they come in, they get Module 1 of a 6-module series. When 30 days pass and their credit card gets hit again and they pay me again, Module 2 opens up for them. Another 30 days pass, I get paid again, Module 3 opens up again. And then we support that, with emails, hey, you got a new module, come in and learn more. There's a lot of ways we can do to keep them involved, but ultimately what you'll find is if you do long-form programs like this, that nobody's going to do it all in a week or 2 anyway. In fact, most won't even finish. Okay. But they all hope to, and they all plan to, and they're going to stick with you until they can. And we're just drawing it out and kind of feeding into the fact, listen, if I give you a 9.5-hour program, you can consume it in a day. It's going to take you a year and a half to implement it in your life anyway. So we just buy into what they already know. Just drip it out bit by bit.
Cool. Well, very, very good. So, Scott, can you tell folks how they can engage with you and maybe get on your podcast list?
Absolutely.
So how do they do that?
Well, there's a couple ways. Go to motivationtomove.com. You can see what I'm doing there. Get in my funnel. See how it works. First thing you need to do.
Very important.
All right?
I would do that.
Go do it. And so you know it. Send me a note, scott@motivationtomove.com. Tell me you heard this. We'll get on the phone. We'll chat a little bit. And, of course, you can go to iTunes and find the Daily Boost and see how I'm turning people on the free site into paid members.
Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.